Hello guys, happy Friday. Welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Hopefully you guys are having a good end to your trading week. Let me just put the disclaimers up there on the left hand side, top left hand side, so please read them, not just for legal purposes but also to understand what you can expect from these kind of videos. Now the 3D market commentary is a video that we do every day, Monday to Friday, for 15-20 minutes, just to expand on an email that we send to our free members. Now the email that we send, which I'll show you in a minute, the email that we send has information on 5 major markets in the world, looking at probabilities and statistics that come from 3 major elements, hence why we call it a 3D market commentary. My name's Becky. If you have any questions or anything after this video, you can email me, becky@tradictive.com. There's also support@tradictive.com as well. So before I show you that email and go through what the data is today, let's just take you quickly to this link here, which is tradewithufos.com/Becky. So by going to that link, you can do things like get the apps that we have for different platforms, depending on which one that you use. You can book one-on-one coaching if you'd like. But there's also this area here, which is really great to use to ask questions, because that way the questions go into a public space. We can then answer them in a public space and everybody can learn from this area. So you can scroll down and see questions that other people have had and the answers to them. It might be that it answers your question without you needing to ask it. Or it might be that you're doing somebody else that favour by posting the question here in the first place. So ideally that's where you'd go to ask questions. Now let me bring up, so there we go. So that's the email that we send out, and of course relevant to market data. So we'll take a look at that as well. Now, as I said, we're looking at 5 major world markets, but we are looking for each of the markets, we're looking at probabilities and statistics that are based on 3 main things. Now, the first thing we want to know when we're looking at trading or investing is, where's the market likely to go? Is it likely to go up, down, or maybe not enough probabilities either way? That then gives us a good idea of whether or not we buy or sell or do nothing. Now for us, we use an app to help us answer this question. It's called AutoClimate. It's a free app on most platforms you can get it on. Now with AutoClimate, it tells us where the probabilities are in the form of these dots. So ignore the lines, focus on the dots. If we have a thick blue dot, that tells us probability is upwards. We should look to buy. If we have a thick red dot, that tells us probability is downwards, so we should look to sell. And if we have a thin dot of either colour, that tells us not enough probability either way, therefore we do nothing. So we look at this per market to understand where the probabilities lie. Then we want to know, where are lots of buyers and where are lots of sellers? Now that's helpful because the only way price can go up is if you have more buyers than sellers. And so if we understand where all of the buyers are, where lots of buyers are, it gives us an idea of where price is likely to move up from. Same is true but reverse for selling. The only way price can come down is if you have more sellers than buyers. And so by understanding where lots of sellers are, it gives us a better idea as to where price is likely to fall from. So we use an app again, it's called AutoUFOs. And this app shows us in the form of these little UFO icons, plus the prices on the right hand side, shows us where we have, in the case of green ones, shows us where the buyers are. There's not a red one on this chart right here, but I'll show you that in a minute. A red one, if I try and draw it out, might look something like that, and of course red on the right hand side as well. So that would show us where the sellers are. So again, we want to know where the buyers and sellers are. We use an app to help us with that. Now the last thing that we might look at is market volatility. Let me just get rid of that for a second. Market volatility, which is how quickly do we expect the markets to move. So we've got, where's the probability, up, down or nowhere? Where are the buyers and sellers that could push price up or down? And how quickly do we expect the markets to move? So we'll look at that per market. Now we'll start with the S&P 500, which is the top 500 US stocks. And bear in mind we're looking at a daily chart here, okay? So what we're looking at is relevant to a daily chart. So with the S&P 500, top 500 US stocks, we have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot there, probability upwards. We also have buyers beneath us at 4551.50 to 4515.25. Now price came into these stacks of buyers and moved up from there. That's why we want to know where they are, to see where they're pushing price up. Now we are a little bit overextended. We've gone a little bit past what would be normal in terms of a move to the upside. We can see that from the stats there. Normally price goes up for 9 candles and we're on candle number 11. So slightly overextended, but overall probability up here with the S&P. Now when it comes to volatility, each of these numbers is relevant to movement we expect up or down within these periods of time. So up or down in 1 year, movement expected is by 17.85%. So up or down in 1 day is 51.29 points. In a week, 112.91 points, and in a month, 235.03 points. So that's the S&P. Now moving on to the next market, which is crude oil. Now, just as we load that, it says there about different courses that we do. By all means, check out the courses that we do, see what might help you. Most of them come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps. AutoClimate is a free app on most platforms. You can get it on anyway. AutoUFOs is a paid-for subscription model for the app, which you can subscribe to directly. You don't have to do a course or anything like that, but oftentimes it's actually cheaper to do a course and get 3 months free access to the apps than it would be to just get them directly. Okay, so looking at oil, we have a thick blue dot, confirmed upwards probability. Here you go, confirmed upwards climate. Now we're at the start of what would be a usual move up of 7 candles, so that gives us probability that it continues. However, it looks like price is moving down at the moment, so we'll see if it breaks. Now we do have buy orders here. Those are between 78.89 to 74.96. So overall probability up for the time being with oil. Now with volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 37.23%. So in a day, that's 1.94 points up or down. In a week, 4.27 points. And in a month, 8.89 points. That's crude oil. Now the next market is gold. Now as I'm loading that, it says about coaching and support that we offer. By all means, you can follow us for free on many different channels where we offer coaching and support. There's also a closed coaching community, small monthly fee to have access to more of our time in a closed environment. So check that out if that's of interest to you. So with gold, confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot, probability to the upside. We've also just hit a stack of buyers again. So those are between 1786 to 1760.3. Now price has come in a few times. Price came in and was pushed up, came in and was pushed up, and it's came in again and it's just starting to move away. So again, we want to know where the buyers are and where the sellers are because it's showing us where price is likely to move from. And in fact, in this situation, we've got buyers underneath us that have pushed price up a few times. We've got sellers on top of us that have pushed price down a few times. So that's between 1866 to 1804.4. Using a different colour here, we see price came into the sellers, got pushed back down, hit the buyers, got pushed back up, hit the sellers, came back down, hit the buyers, got pushed back up, hit the sellers, came back down, has hit the buyers and is starting to move up again. So price is currently sort of being pushed between these two players. Lots of buyers and lots of sellers that are making price kind of go sideways. So something to be aware of there, I personally would say, because we've got these two stacks of buyers and sellers close to each other, we're also overextended. We've gone up longer than we would do usually. I would say not enough probability in either direction at the moment. There's too many players on different sides, too many factors from different sides. Overall, I would argue not much to do here on a daily chart of gold. Now with volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in the year of 15.8%. So in 1 day, that's 17.89 points. In a week, 39.37 points. And in a month, 81.96 points. So let's move on to the next market, which is the US dollar. So with the US dollar, we have a confirmed downwards climate, a thick red dot there, confirmed downwards climate. Usually go down for 6 candles. We're on candle number 2, so got room for it to continue to move. We have sellers just above us between 94.015 to 93.465. And we've got a bit of room until we hit some buyers at 92.88 to 92.31. Overall, probability down based on the stats that we're using here. In terms of volatility, we'd expect the US dollar to move up or down in 1 year of 5.25%. So in a day, that's 0.31 points. In a week, 0.68 points. And in a month, 1.42 points. That's the US dollar. Now, last but not least is backed Bitcoin. So let's bring that up. So with backed Bitcoin, we have a thick blue dot, probability to the upside. We have buyers beneath us between 58,347.5 to 53,860. Overall here, probability to the upside. We don't see sellers above us, and we've just started a sort of new move to the upside there. Now, in terms of volatility on Bitcoin, we'd expect it to move up or down in 1 year of 87.53%. So that means in 1 day, up or down of 3,390.76, in a week, 7,464.4, and in a month, 15,538.39. So that's all of the markets now that we've looked at. We've looked at daily charts for each of them, and we've understood from the climate, from the auto climate, where's the probability, up, down, or nowhere. We've then understood from where the buyers and sellers are, where do we have buyers that can push price up, where do we have sellers that can push price down. And we've looked at market volatility and understood how quickly we expect these markets to move. So hopefully that all made sense. If it didn't, you can reach out to me by email, becky@tradictive.com, or you can go to that link, which I'll show you again in a second. One last thing to round off our 3D market commentary is the weekly economic calendar. We get this from FX Street, and we filter by high impact news, which means we want to know which news articles, sorry, my mouse is being weird there, which news articles are coming out or which news reports are coming out that are likely to create an impact on the markets, therefore likely to make them a bit more volatile. So today being Friday means we've actually already had all of our news so far. This is in US times. We had some news on the euro early this morning in the States that would have or could have created some impact on European markets. Nothing scheduled left for the rest of the day. Now, like I said, if you have any questions, you can email me, or best to go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. From here, you can book one-on-one coaching if you'd like. You can ask questions here in this public area, which means I can then answer them here, and then we all learn from this space. And you can also, if you're looking at the apps or anything like that, you can get the apps directly from here, depending on which platform you use. So hopefully you guys have a great end of your trading week. I'll be back a bit later on today for a stock session, so I'll see you guys then. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you either later on today in the stock session or Monday morning. Take care.